Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. If you saw the title, you probably are already thinking, oh no, what is today's video going to be? Well, yes, it is indeed going to be the title. I don't clickbait on this channel, and it's a little bit of an intense topic. I admit that. I'm just doing this video today as a talking head style video because there's so much in this video that I want to make sure I talk about. I don't want to skip over any of my points. I've got a whole heck of a lot of notes. It's truly an important topic, but as these things go, it's a topic that I really feel like I need to sit down and talk about. Y'all know I try. Anyway, what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to start out with reacting to an article. Welcome to the rabbit hole where we do things a little differently. Anyway, the title of this article is Teens Are Worried About Wrinkles, Here's How Gen Z is Helping to Fuel a Beauty Boom. It's published in CNN style and I will have it linked below. Make sure you read the article if you are interested in it, as I'm just going to kind of be talking about different points from the article. And also let me say really quickly, this video today is not a criticism of this article as a whole. I like the article, that's the reason I'm responding to it. However, I am going to also add in some input as I read this about a week ago and I've formed some different thoughts on it after thinking about it for quite a while. So I guess I want to add to this article. Anyway, let's get into it. The article itself starts by telling you about a person who gets a lot of different treatments for their skin. So they're getting UV therapy, they're getting laser therapy, they're getting all kinds of collagen stimulating therapies that help with anti-aging, and surprise, he's 18. Then it talks about Reddit's largest skincare community, which some of you know is SCA, and some of the titles of posts that have appeared there. So we have titles such as Premature Aging at 16, What Are My Options? I'm 16 and thinking about Botox because of my forehead wrinkles, and Wrinkles at 19. Take note of that one. We'll talk about that later. The post authors appear panicked as they ask for recommendations and reassurance. If I look like this now, what will I look like at 30? And then of course we have to talk about TikTok. So they talk about a video that was liked over 16,000 times and say an apparently youthful creator scrapes a pink gua sha over her face and says, "I'm so scared of aging. Why do we have to age so badly? I want to be young forever." The caption reads, "I'm so scared of aging." One commenter sympathizes, "I'm 15 in 2 days and I'm already using retinol, vitamin C, and gua sha with my sunscreen." Pause for commentary. Here's my thoughts on the article so far. So if you are just reading this for the first time, your reaction is likely to be one of concern for this age range. You are probably reading it, sympathizing along with the author and going, why on earth are 15-year-olds scared of wrinkles? You don't have wrinkles at 15. After thinking about it a lot, I really think we should reevaluate that question. We should reevaluate the way that we are reading that article and ask a different question instead. And that is, so at what age should people actually be scared of aging? Y'all know my argument here, right? It's none. There is no age where I think, oh yeah, that's an acceptable age to suddenly get online and go, oh, if I look like this now, what will I look like at 60? No, again, this is a mental health situation in my perspective. I don't think anybody is living their best life as long as the fear of aging is eating away at them inside. It does not matter your age. And I find it really interesting that while we were talking about those posts where, 16-year-olds are scared of wrinkles, well, is that person asking wrinkles at 19, is that okay? Are they technically an adult, so now the fear of aging is okay? I think the author in the article in itself even acknowledges that's not the case by including them in this. Let's continue reading. So it says, brands have made the fear of looking older into a lucrative business, pulling $88 billion in global sales by 2026. So we have somebody who works in beauty saying here, anti-aging products are no longer just for older beauty consumers. There's a new beauty persona called the Skinvestors, a next-gen, science-first beauty consumer who sees skincare as an investment. So I guess any word that starts with "in", we're now replacing that with skin. So do we have any viewers from Skindiana? Skindianapolis, perhaps? Freaking hate it, y'all. I hate it. So my next gentle criticism here is that I think a little bit too much of this article focuses on the cost. You know, at the beginning of this article, how we were talking about all those different procedures. Well, it does hit differently when you're thinking about an 18-year-old, because it's easy to assume, does that 18-year-old have the money for all of those treatments? And I think the answer to this is sometimes they do. It's definitely a perspective thing. I mean, what if that 18-year-old's mom happens to work in a spa and he just has a lot of access to those treatments at a much more discounted rate? We don't know those kind of things from the information that we're given in the article. And as for the person using the NuFace, we don't know what their income is. We don't know if their family purchased that for them. I think that there really is a concern with overly tying in the economic factor. Let me give you some examples of why I specifically think that. So, do you all remember years ago when eye cream was a no-no in the skincare circles? In the skincare circles, we would call it an overly expensive moisturizer. That made sense at the time because we had brands out here selling half-ounce eye creams for $90, and that was kind of all that was on the market. But now in 2021, you can buy an eye cream for $6 from Good Molecules. So it's not really about the price of eye cream anymore. This is why I'd really like to see the skincare community as a whole be willing to have much more nuanced conversations. Even specifically with eye cream, you know, the problem with just saying eye cream is a scam is that for some people, it's always been the case that their skin is more sensitive around their eyes, so they do better with the product that is formulated at the slightly different pH that our eye area is, in addition to the fact that some people see milia as a consequence of just taking a moisturizer around their eyes. Not everyone, plenty of people can, but you know, again, a much more nuanced conversation where we say, oh, maybe some things work for some people and nothing is really just day and night. There is something in this section I don't want to skip over, so let me make sure I read this to you. Some brands seem to be homing in on this junior demographic as well. Last year, clinical skincare brand Murad recruited high school influencers to promote their top rejuvenating serums on Instagram. Murad was unable to provide further comment on this strategy. I bet you were, Murad. This is definitely something I've noticed. In fact, I was on Instagram the other day. I was on Peter Thomas Roth's account, and they posted their $98 new product. So I was reading the description for it, and at the end of the description, they said no cap. Well, my millennial self read that and went, is it really safe to sell a product without a lid? My brain was like, oh, did you learn nothing from that entire controversy with the Gen Z hospital skit on SNL? Come on, Alice. No cap means something else entirely different to you than it does to Gen Z. But why is Peter Thomas Roth using Gen Z language on a $98 product? It does seem like there's a disconnect there, at least to me. But see, they're right, because they say the youth are a very lucrative market for consumerism, because the young, especially very young, are dominated by their desires. One more story time. I hope you all enjoy my story times. Yeah, this is so true. Take money out of the equation for a moment. Young people are dominated by their desires. So years ago, in one of the many jobs I used to work, one of them was working as a promoter. So I was hired by different brands and I would pass out. This is New Orleans. So they would give us stuff like t-shirts that said Mardi Gras all over them and were all the Mardi Gras colors, but then also the brand name in giant letters. And it was just free t-shirts to anyone who wanted them. Oh, I learned so much about people in this time period. I'd already gotten my psychology degree. I learned even more about people from this experience. Let me tell you something. So every young person, every last one of them took a t-shirt. A lot of them would ask for multiple t-shirts for all of their friends, and of course we're all like, please just take the t-shirts, we don't want to take any home. Meanwhile, for people who were, I guess, middle-aged and up, I could not hand out these t-shirts. They didn't want them. I will never forget in particular this one older gentleman, maybe 60, 70. I was trying to give him a t-shirt and he just said, I don't need it. I have all of the t-shirts that I could possibly want. Why would I take a t-shirt? And I was like, because it's free. But his argument was so solid in that he just didn't need it. And I remember as a younger person myself, I was just standing there going, oh my God, he's probably right that he doesn't need it, but who turns down free stuff? And that's how I learned that indeed the younger market is easier to sell to. doesn't matter if it's free or not, they're just easier to get them to purchase things than older people who are running an inventory in their own heads of, do I actually need this? While this article has a lot of examples of the skinfluencers who are scared of aging, they actually have someone in here who is very positive about aging. Her name is charlotteparler, and after reading this article, I followed her on Instagram. I'll put her Instagram handle up on the screen so you can as well. Palomino vowed to stop using face-perfecting filters when posting on her TikTok account for fear of causing dysphoria or intense satisfaction among her followers. That is something that I think all of us should do. But the app has become so frenzied on the topic of aging. Palomino had to step in and defend a 35-year-old TikToker who received nearly 24,000 comments criticizing the appearance of her skin after she went viral. You're 35 pushing 60. I thought she was like 40, 45. Y'all, that reminds me so much of the Gwyneth Paltrow sunscreen thing. Listen, the reason I avoided that topic and the reason I talked about it briefly but did not talk about it any further is because I saw the nasty ageist comments that were going on. You can criticize what a person is saying. Her sunscreen advice was absolutely horrific without bringing in their appearance. And it was wild to me that, I tried to defend this in quite a few comment sections and people said, no, you're wrong. It is okay to criticize her because of her advice. No, it's not. It is never okay. It is never okay to criticize another person's appearance. How come we've gotten so progressive about certain aspects, but we're not about others? Another example for you in this video. So imagine if I sat here as a naturally thin person. I just have a fast metabolism, I guess. Imagine if I sat here and said, oh, I'm so fat. Not a single one of you would tolerate that kind of nonsense, and yet for some reason, it does seem that it's socially acceptable to sit here and say, I'm 30, I'm so old. Should we be doing that? Should we be doing that, or are we contributing to this newfound fear of aging? Like the article says, this did not used to exist. Ooh, I was getting myself worked up, y'all. Okay, bring myself down a few notches and we'll get back to this. Okay, so we have a Chicago-based clinical psychologist by the name of John Duffy who works closely with teenagers, chiming into this article. He says that he is quite concerned about this new phobia of aging. It's a worry he describes as new among the age group. This was not a concern I had 5 to 10 years ago, he said. He was struck by the increasing number of young girls convinced their looks will change and deteriorate as they get older. The emotional impact of which he says is a sense of hopelessness about the future. Instagram, TikTok, and other social media leave the impression that an aging face is a negative thing to be avoided at all costs. Oh, what a sad ending. I get the same feeling from the end of that article as I get from walking out of a sad drama type of movie, but that's a sad ending. It really shows the ties between consumerism and mental health. And to me, it feels like these effects are just more exacerbated because of the financial capacity behind them, right? As companies and corporations started figuring out how profitable anti-aging is, they've pushed it more and more so that now we have 15-year-olds who are terrified of aging. That's a problem. And I will even give you some personal experience on this. On this channel, I focus a heck of a lot more on my acne. I've said in many videos it's a bigger concern to me than aging. But guess what videos have been most successful on this channel? It's the very few anti-aging videos I've done, which goes to show, yeah, that's what's leading the skincare market. So I was trying to figure out what's the best way to combat that. What can we possibly do? And I think that one thing we could potentially do is to actually take a big step back and ask, what actually is so bad about aging? Why are we so scared of getting a few wrinkles? That's something that is normal. And again, like I've said also in many videos, some people do not get that privilege. It is indeed a privilege to get older, to experience more life. In fact, let me put it like this. Would you love your grandmother more if she had less wrinkles? Would you? Because if you answer yes to that, you're a crappy person. For most people, the answer is obviously no. So therefore, that is an example that worth is not defined by how few wrinkles you have. So what needs to happen? I've got a couple of points here, and then we're done with this video. So first of all, I really think that for anybody who creates any kind of content, no matter large or small, we've got to start being more responsible with the way we frame the concept of aging. It is absolutely okay and wonderful to enjoy skincare, to appreciate the science behind it, but we have to watch out for creating or playing into this fear. We have to be able to draw a line between self-care and body dysmorphia, which I genuinely do think is happening. It's kind of face dysmorphia. There's not even really a word for it yet, but there will be, because again, that article's right about all of the points in terms of Facetune and the way people look on the internet. I don't even look as good as I do right now on camera in real life because I have a beauty light. I have no idea how to do filters, but the beauty light does help me look better. And I think we've got to try to convey that, to convey a sense of realness, and then we also need our audience to not play into this. I've had a lot of nasty comments on my channel from people who have said things like, her forehead moves, obviously she needs to get Botox. Well, that's what I have to say about that. Stop pushing people to feel like they need to get procedures done. We should do whatever we want to do and not do what we don't want to do. We've got to not hyper-focus on what corporations have told us is the bad part of aging so much that we lose sight of the good aspects. Let me tell you, honestly, what it's like to turn 30, because this seems to be a very magical, scary age in a lot of the skincare community, actually on the internet as a whole. On the internet as a whole, there's a great stigma against the age of 30, which is wild, because 30 is still young. Y'all, we get so worked up over this age. Let me tell you what actually happens. You wake up in the morning on your 30th birthday, slowly open up your eyes, and you go, I have an insatiable desire to listen to podcasts. And your brain, oh my goodness, see, I didn't know this, but it turns out that in your 30s, your brain is so much more chill. There's no way in heck I would go back to being in my 20s if given the choice, because I like how my mind feels. I just don't react to things in the way that I did in my 20s. I'm just calmer and more composed. I know I already mentioned this in the video, but I'd really like to see less joking about it too. I think that the, truth is often spoken in jest. There's a reason that saying exists. And an example of that, so many examples in this video, an example of that, have you all seen on TikTok, the guy that was putting on sunscreen and going, am I better than everyone? It's supposed to be a joke, because there are some people that think that way, like we were talking about with Gwyneth Paltrow earlier. But so many of the comments, oh my gosh, the comments were like, yeah, exactly, my friends are all gonna look so much older than I am. How did it just go right over your head? I think my bottom line in this video is just to make you aware of this so that we can have better conversations on this topic going forward in a variety of settings. Just in case we have any young people watching this video, the point of this video is not to tell your mom, don't let your kids use skincare products. It's not that at all. Instead, it's to say, buy your kids skincare products and make sure you're having healthy conversations with them about aging. Just so everybody can enjoy their skincare routines, enjoy that moment of self-care, and also have your mind in a healthy place while you're doing it. Well, that's it. I hope this was not too unpleasant of a video. Again, I'm making it because I, as per usual, feel pretty burdened to talk about this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you check out the article, which will be in the description box if you're interested in reading more. And thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you're interested in what's on my face, that is in the description box below as well. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.